Hello. Another glorious day in the UK. Bright blue skies, a little bit windy, a little bit cool. The blowy wind is very cold today, but the sun is glorious. I was going to talk about conditioning, you know, and this just this stems from a conversation I had with a little girl, my nephew's little girl actually. She's either 9 or 10, right? Now, of course, people get conditioned. We all know that. We know that the first lies you're told are from your parents. The first conditioning you ever get is from your parents. Of course they are. And we carry these things with us for sometimes for life. And it could be that their fear of spiders or heights, you know, and it does affect us somewhat, you know. But anyway, this little girl came home from school. Me and her dad, we were having a chat about politics and the election and all that rubbish, you know. And she said, "Oh no, you're wrong. We're doing this at school. You have to vote. You really must vote." So I said, "Why is that?" And she said, "Well, say you wanted a nice playground, then you vote and then you get a nice playground. That's how it happens." I said, "It doesn't quite happen like that, you know. They say they're going to do this, so they get in, then they don't do it." She said, No, you're wrong. We're doing this in school. They don't lie. You know, they've got money, you vote, and then you get what you want. You see, so they're already conditioning and working on these children. I think it's wrong. I really do. I think it's wrong to do that sort of thing. You know, let's stop the conditioning, you know. Children are still taught, or I believe they're still taught, rubbish like Christopher Columbus discovered America. I was taught that. Of course, we know it's not true. I was told that Guy Fawkes tried to blow up the House of Parliament, and he was hung, drawn and quartered for his terrible crime. And it's rubbish, you know. Many years later, you do a little bit of research. I think Guy Fawkes, he jumped to his death. That's what he did. And he died of a broken neck. Subsequently, yes, they did. They quartered his body and they sent it to the four corners of the UK as a warning to people. Well, I think actually those people sat in Houses of Parliament, they should be hung, drawn and quartered for treason. You know, they're all mentally ill quite clearly. So yeah, this conditioning starts, you know, with children believing fairy stories and silliness, you know, like God or Jesus, or voting really matters, or the government don't lie, the police have to be respected. All these sort of things, you know, this drip, drip, drip effect, absolutely incredible really. But of course, you know, the teachers, they go to teacher training college, and they're fed these lies there. And of course they believe it, so that's where it all kind of begins. And so probably the teachers know better, probably. So they're taught these lies, and of course they feed these lies to the children because the teachers probably haven't got the intellect really to question what they've been taught. Certainly can't be bothered to do any research just to find out if any of this stuff is real. That they're going to impart into a child's mind. They cannot be bothered just to do a bit of research, just to make sure they're given the correct and the right advice. And this is like conditioning, you know. And then you get adults now that have been so conditioned over the years that they just believe everything, you know. They believe voting matters. Your vote really counts, you know. Of course it doesn't, you know. Nothing will change. You know, and if people get fed up with this particular government, they have to vote. Yeah, let's vote. We've got to vote these out because I'm unhappy with these. What, you're going to be happy with the next lot of liars? Or what about the next lot? You weren't happy with the last lot. You know, it's all lies. It's about time it stopped. It's about time people woke up and realised what they're doing. By voting, I think you're you're giving a very good message that your system, I believe in your system does work in some way. And it's about time that we stopped being slaves and going down there and listening to the rhetoric and the bullshit and the lies. You know what's going to happen, right? I guarantee this. I don't have a television. I've never, ever, ever watched television. But on the television, in the newspapers, they will say, there's been a great turnout. Of course they will. You don't know, do you? And I've said this before. You vote for party A, okay? And so does your neighbour, and so does your friend, and so does everybody else in your street. And lo and behold, you get told that all those votes went to party B. And of course you believe it because you've got no choice. And it's all a game, it's all conditioning, and we're conditioned to believe it. People pick up the newspaper and they read a story. They're not called stories because they're full of news, they're called stories because it's a written fabrication, it's a story. People read a story and they tend to believe it, they believe it's true. It's absolutely silly. I just think that people now, we should question everything. We really should wake up, you know. I've covered lots really in these videos, you know, the fact that you don't have to buy a TV licence, you know, it's a known paedophile organisation, and if you really want to go and buy a TV licence and you really want to go funding an organisation like that, then you know, question yourself why you're doing it. No, get down, darling, good boy. I've got these 3 waggy tails here. It is a beautiful little... No, get down, darling. Get down. Come on then, let's go outside. Careful, I don't want you to bang your face. Go back. Back. It's about time we started opening up, you know, waking up, questioning things and what have you, you know. So you don't have to pay a TV licence, you don't have to pay your water bill if you don't want to, you don't have to pay a third-party interloper, you know, commonly called a debt collector. You don't have to pay them. You didn't take out the contract with them. You owe them nothing. They buy your debt. Your debt is now paid, therefore you owe them nothing. They buy it at about 4 pence in the pound. Then they want to try to retrieve 100% or 100 pennies in the pound. You don't need to pay them, and you shouldn't be paying them. You've got no contract with them. They've got no right, you know. And you do your research on lots of different websites and you realise that Bry is not telling you bullshit. Bry is telling you the truth. And it's a matter of just doing your research, waking up, live your life for you. Don't believe the bollocks, don't believe the media, don't believe what you think you know, right? Learn the truth, then speak about what you know. It's so easy to do. We live in such a day where everything is out there for us. And still, people say, oh, I got a parking fine. No, you didn't. There was a notice on your windscreen. They noticed your car. That's all they did. And in it, it says there will be a charge. It's not a fine. There will be a charge of £30. If you don't pay within so long, it's £100 or £60 or whatever. And what they're doing, they're asking, would you like to contract with us? If you do, it'll cost you, whatever, 60 quid, you know. And it's up to you whether you want to contract with them. And I would say no. I mean, I don't. I've got hundreds of them. I don't bother with them. You know, of course I don't. They're a private company. This is your land, you know. What right have they got to say, I'm going to build a fence around there and then I'm going to say you can't park here. You can't walk there. You can't think there. Well, perhaps you can't, you know. So yeah, you know, do a little bit more research and try and find out things that are correct, really, and have a little shuffle in your head, work out the lies, work out the bullshit and what have you, and deal with your own lives, you know. And anybody who's thinking about voting, you know, just ask yourself why. Have you read all the manifestos? Do you understand all the manifestos? Have you had meetings with these various parties? Have you I thought the dogs wanted to come in. Have you put anything in place? You know, have you said, okay, will you definitely do what you've said in your manifesto? If not, what can I do about it? Can I hold you accountable? If so, in what way? Tell me all the answers to these, then I'll think about dragging my arse at the polling station and I might vote. So, you know, really think it through, ask these questions, sort things out. If you don't, you know, you've got yourself to blame. There's a saying, I will finish now, there's a saying, isn't there? If you don't vote, you can't have your say. Bollocks. If you vote these paedophiles in, if you vote these mentally ill arseholes in, and they say, oh, I know what I said in the manifesto, but we've decided to ignore it. So we're going to do the opposite anyway, so sorry about that. Couldn't care less though. You voted them in. You're culpable, you're responsible. You voted them in, you know. I can have my say. Because I can say, well, I didn't vote any of these psychopathic idiots in. God almighty, you know. Anyway, take care and be well.